Zoho CRM export limits increase. Now you can use email templates to send scheduled reports in the Zoho CRM reports section. And there's now extended grouping options in Zoho CRM reports. Zoho Campaigns is now restricting your ability to send emails using public domains in order to ensure compliance. Zoho WorkReally 2.0 is out, complete with a makeover and a host of new features, making managing a temporary workforce easier than ever. In this video, we'll be covering all of this and more of Zoho's newsworthy announcements. We got a bunch of announcements here for Zoho CRM. We've got export limit increase, email templates and reports, extended grouping reports, and more enhancements to the Zoho CRM reporting capabilities. All right, so first and foremost, let's talk export limit increase. So previously, for whatever reason, the limit for exporting from a detailed report inside of Zoho CRM was 5 daily exports per organization. And what they've done is they've now opened that up to 200 exports per day. So now there is no longer that 5-time restriction for organizations to export from detailed reports. It's now 200 exports a day. And you have 50,000 rows that you can export from a detailed report. So that's a nice little export limit increase there. It'll just keep, I don't know why it was ever 5. Imagine hitting 5 for your daily limit and wondering why you couldn't export anymore. So nice that you're able to export now 200 times from the same organization. Crazy it's taken this long to get there. Export permission for users. So now when you are assigning permissions, which is just what you're allowing people to do in your system, you can mark the export option for reports, allowing certain users to export data via reports and allowing some users or making it so some users can't actually export reports. Yeah, email templates for reports. This is really nice. So what you're able to do here is in the Zoho CRM reportings section, you are now able to create a email template. And when you actually go to schedule reports, it'll actually show you here what the scheduler looks like. Let's wait for this GIF to restart. But essentially when you go into the Zoho reports section, there is now a new report scheduler button here, which is really nice. And it just allows you to create a recurring scheduled report email that will send to a distribution list. So if you're doing a sales meeting every 2 weeks and you want to have a sales report sent before that meeting, you can schedule that, assign the users that you want, and then you can assign this, you can create this new report scheduler in order to send it out on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, whatever suits your needs. So that's nice. The email templates for scheduled reports. Let's talk about enhancements to grouping options. All right, so previously we weren't able to get as granular as the month for groupings. So what we're able to do here, now you can see here, is inside of the reports, you're able to essentially group by on the y-axis here by month, and you can see this the way that we're grouping, that this report's grouping information is by the month. So now you're able to get that granular with information based on date fields. You can do a month by month breakdown of information in the Zoho CRM reporting section, which is great. You can also create charts on top of that. That way you can see trends over time. And then you can do that within the dashboards section of Zoho on top of a report you build in the reporting section. Day granularity, same thing that we were seeing there for months, but for days. So now you can go break down reports by the day in the month if you wanted to do another grouping for the report, which is really nice to have that kind of flexibility when reporting. You can view the same data in a bar chart to identify trends, patterns, and anomalies easily. Okay, so lots of different report enhancements there. These ones are pretty small, but they're good to go over just so that you have them when you go into reporting. Column grouping. Previously, the reports module in Zoho CRM only supported 2x2 grouping for matrix reports, where the first number denotes the row and the latter denotes the column. With this enhancement, you can now group columns based on 3x1 or 1x3 combinations. So you can see now, 1 row, 3 columns. Here's the 3 columns here. You're able to further break down the information in the reports in the way that you want. Wrap text. Previously in the text in the description field was too long. It was displayed in a single line, whereas the full text was displayed by hovering over the cursor. So now you can go over to wrap text, and it will essentially allow the text to wrap around so that you can see all of the content in the cell. Minor enhancements, dynamic column width. This is really nice. The system now automatically adjusts the sizes of columns and reports based on the content within them. Role support in criteria. So now when you are adding filter criteria for different reports, you can say, hey, if they're this role, we want them in. If they're not in this role, we don't want them to have access to this. So you can add different filters there. You can also just add filters for when you're creating reports and you want to display certain users that have certain roles or don't have certain roles. Select all, you can shift click now when you go to select columns for the report. And then finally, I want to make mention of this. If you have Zoho 1, which most of my clients have Zoho 1, then you don't have to use the Zoho CRM reporting functionality in order to run reports in Zoho. You can use Zoho Analytics. And what I see a lot of times is people will jump into Zoho CRM reports and they'll very quickly realize the limitations in Zoho CRM reports. Then they'll move on to Zoho Analytics as a full-on business intelligence platform, which allows the greatest and the most amount of flexibility for creating the reports that you need for your organization. So the way that I see it with Zoho CRM reports is it's good if you're just trying to export data or make a very quick report. However, if you have robust reporting needs, move over to Zoho Analytics because it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So better to be in Zoho Analytics initially, learn how to build reports there. It's a little trickier, but once you get over the learning curve, it is so much more robust than what you have here in the Zoho CRM reports section. However, with that all being said, we like these new enhancements inside of Zoho CRM reports. Public domain restriction in Zoho campaigns. Okay, so I talked about this a lot when I initially started doing these series of Zoho News videos 2 months ago. And essentially, there's big shifts in the public domain, using public domains in your emails. So for example, if you're using gmail.com, yahoo.com, outlook.com, Zoho is no longer going to let you send from those email addresses in campaigns. So you're going to see in this GIF, if it pops up for us, here we go. Essentially, you will no longer have the option to select a email sender with a public domain. This is a good thing though. It's going to ensure compliance. It's going to allow you to actually send over emails. So you can see here's a public one, right, at gmail.com. It's a public domain. Now Zoho Campaigns isn't going to let you do that. So you guys see DMARC policy is published for this domain. Now take a step forward to improve deliverability by verifying domain authentication. So now it's just going to prevent you from doing that. That is just to ensure compliance. So just be aware that there's public domain restriction. So we have enabled public domain restriction. This enhancement aims to prevent the use of public domains in the sender address, ensuring compliance and deliverability of your email campaigns. So be aware of that. If you are currently using a public domain, switch over to a custom domain. If you need a custom domain, just go to Bluehost, go to Google Domains. There's lots of places you can purchase a domain. You can host your domain there, and then you don't have to worry about all of this stuff because this is a recurring announcement. I feel that they're trying to protect people from doing this because now platforms like Gmail, they are incentivizing you to move away from using those public domains when you're using it for business in business situations, for sales correspondence, marketing correspondence, whatever it might be. Or you got all new Zoho Workerly 2024. So essentially Zoho Workerly got a facelift and a host of new capabilities. So the all new Zoho Workerly 2024, the roster view. The roster view is just a nice way to view all of the temporary workers that you have along with their schedules. So I'm going to show it to you here. I'm going to jump into this video. Go. Let's show you this. So this is the new roster view where you can see all the temporary workers in your organization that you are managing and their associated schedule. So if you want to check it out, there is this video where you can go in depth on how this all works. You can click into it. But the nice thing is we're seeing the new roster view. The entire Zoho Workerly application has gotten a new paint job, and we also have module customization. So now you can make the entire Workerly app work the way that you want by customizing the modules the way you want them to appear. So that doesn't mean you get custom modules. It just means there's module customization. Huge difference there. Just allows you to sort the different tabs at the top of the application the way that you want so that you can view them in the order that makes the most sense to you. Custom temp data fields customize all the data fields in your client's job request based on their requirements. Your clients can offer payment based on job rate, temp rate, task rate, and include details such as billable breaks. So now you have custom temp data fields available. Enable clients to create jobs. Forget emails for sending in job requests. Your clients can now directly create job requests and improve timesheets on the Zoho Workly platform. This way you can minimize the back and forth communication involved and leave little to no room for miscommunicated information. A separate portal for your temps, cool. So Workly helps you establish complete transparency. You can send an email or SMS to one of your temporary workers where they will be able to find matching jobs, view all the details of the job, a calendar, a timesheet. So a very robust portal for your temporary workers, efficient management for temps and jobs, task-based billing, keep your jobs flexible. Does your job not require a specific timeline to shift? With Workly, you do not have to predefine shifts. Maintain the job's flexibility to schedule shifts in accordance with client requirements as they arise. Interesting. Effortless invoicing, custom functions, mobile applications. This is where it gets interesting. So mobile applications, you got 3 different applications when it comes to Zoho Workly. So you got the Worker app, which will make sure your temps have a streamlined working experience when it comes to accepting and declining jobs. The Kiosk app, so it's installed on the job site specifically for workers who do not have a smartphone. So they can basically, the Kiosk app is like installed on like a iPad on location. People can go sign in there and we'll keep track of all that information. So it's basically a shared mobile application for people who don't have a smartphone or access to the app on their phone. And then it has proprietary facial technology so that people can scan in and you don't have their friends scanning for you. The Zoho Workly app is for agents like you to manage the entire temp lifecycle easily. With its powerful tools and intuitive interface, the mobile app for agents enables efficient workforce management anytime, anywhere. So there's the Zoho Workly app for temporary workers, for you, and then the Kiosk app. So that's what's new for Zoho Workly in 2024. Let's talk enhanced data fields with standard data encryption in Zoho Desk. So if you're a Zoho Desk user and you are in the financial space, healthcare providers, e-commerce, or if you're just handling sensitive information inside of Zoho Desk, you're going to want to encrypt the field. Now, if you're not familiar with encryption, it's a way to make your data more secure so that if it's in plain text, it actually scrambles the text for someone who's trying to access the information that shouldn't have access to the information. In order to decrypt the encrypted plain text or the encrypted text, they have to use a key. So it's like that game you played when you were younger, where it's like scrambled text, you get the key and you basically decipher the information. This is what's happening, but inside of Zoho Desk for certain fields. So you don't have to do this for all fields. You don't want to encrypt the entire database. You just want to encrypt fields that you need to make sure are secure because you're potentially storing sensitive information. So make sure that you have this encrypt field selected if you are storing sensitive information inside of Zoho Desk. Checklist in sprints. Use Zoho Sprints. And for those of you who don't know Zoho Sprints is like Zoho Projects. It helps you manage the work that needs to get done in your organization. The difference is Sprints follows a different project management methodology. Sprints follows what's called Agile. And essentially the idea with Sprints is that if you don't have set due dates and timelines and you can't see the entirety of the long-term work that needs to get done for something, for example, if you're a developer, you know that this is a pressing issue now. You have 10 items that you need to get done. You don't necessarily know what's going to need to be done in 6 months. And so you want to be flexible and reprioritize as you go. That's where Zoho Sprints comes in. That's what Zoho Sprints is built for. It's less rigid. It's more flexible. That's why they call it agile. You can reprioritize as you go. Now, Zoho Projects is a little different in that Zoho Projects is more strict. You have milestones, timelines. The Gantt charts are supposed to help you understand, are we going to complete a project by a certain due date? And it follows waterfall project management methodology versus agile. So that's the quick and dirty difference between Zoho Sprints and Zoho Projects. All right, so Zoho Sprints has a mobile application. And now inside the mobile application, you can create checklists. So checklists just break down the different things that need to get done for a larger work item. And so the nice thing is you can add a checklist to a work item to further describe what needs to get done in order to complete a task. So you can reorder the checklist, you can edit a checklist, you can make it an item. So you can actually take a checklist item and turn it into a full-on action item. And then you can break it down even further from there if you need to. So essentially you can graduate one of these smaller checklist items to a full-on work item. Now you can set default properties for the email composer in Begin. Okay, so this is kind of nice. If you're a Begin user and you're sending out emails, you can actually, when you go out to send an email, you'll see this section. And this section allows you to set defaults so that every time you send an email in the future, you can set the default font size, the default font. You can set all these different preferences so that you don't have to reset it every single time you go into the application. Your default from address, your default reply to address. So instead of having to do that every single time you go into an email, just set it, forget it. And that's what's nice about the email defaults inside of Begin. All right, collaborate efficiently with Zoho Writer's track changes feature. And this is why I use something like Google Docs. I don't think Writer's bad, and I use it for mail merge and making my proposals and a couple other documents that I create in my organization. However, I do think that Google is just superior in terms of their workspace because look, Zoho Writer, I mean, how long have we had this feature in Google Docs? Who knows how long? But Zoho Writer's track changes feature allows you to historically view all of the different changes that have been made in a document by their corresponding user. I feel like this is obviously really useful, but the fact that this is happening in 2024 is like almost unacceptable for a document editor such as Writer. I just feel like that's so behind the ball. So I absolutely love this update. I'm just shocked that's taken this long. I really wish Writer was up to snuff, but it's just nowhere near it's nowhere near as robust as Google. So it's kind of tough to use that on a day-to-day basis. Okay, Sales IQ desk integration updates. Seamless help desk ticket editing in chat. This is in the tips and tricks series that Zoho does. Did you know that you can now edit your desk support tickets within Sales IQ? Happy to announce the latest update to the Sales IQ desk integration. Managing your customer support tickets within Sales IQ just got smoother and better. No more toggling between platforms. Handle everything conveniently within Sales IQ, streamlining your workflow and saving valuable time. With this update, you can easily edit desk tickets directly inside of Sales IQ without navigating to Zoho Desk. With edit, any ticket detail is needed, like setting due dates, modifying, and this is awesome. This is awesome. It's one of those things that a lot of people would just be like, well, isn't this how Zoho already works? You know, aren't all the applications already tied together? And the answer is no. Zoho is not seamlessly integrated out of the box, especially Zoho One. You need to think of Zoho One and Zoho CRM Plus as bundle offerings for individual applications. The reason I say that is because these applications aren't integrated with each other out of the box. Some of the integrations are out of the box, most of them are not, meaning you have to go into each individual application and tie it to another individual application, meaning it's like a web of applications that you have to integrate with over time. So again, Zoho One, Zoho CRM Plus, think of them as bundles, but not necessarily integrated suites of applications. So unfortunately, that's the case, but it makes sense because a lot of people get Zoho and they don't want to use all of the applications. They want to use 5 of the applications in Zoho One and 2 of the applications in Zoho CRM Plus. They don't want to use all of them at the same time. So that's why they're separate out of the box. It'd be cool if they were all enabled out of the box. That's just not how it works. They give you the choice to enable the applications that you feel are useful for your organization. So the nice thing here, as you can see, is you can just go into a conversation in my chats. This is in Zoho Sales IQ. And then from there, you can go to the bottom right. You can see Zoho Desk Ticket. And then you can actually edit the ticket. Once you click on it, you can actually edit the ticket right from Zoho Sales IQ without even having to leave the application Zoho Sales IQ. So that's a nice little tip there. And with that, thank you so much for watching. If you need additional training in Zoho, we all know that Zoho is very difficult to use. And so what we've done is we've compiled all of the most important aspects of Zoho, as far as training is concerned, and put it into Z Training. It's absolutely free, and you can get it by going to the link in the description below and getting Z Training. You just have to sign up. It'll send you an email. You get your whole team trained up as power users in Zoho in just 5 days. So go ahead and check out Z Training, and I will see you in the next one.